Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and listen. Today is an interesting episode because my co-host, Matthew Pelton, is not here. If you're watching this on YouTube, which you should be, or in that weird little Spotify, like how it plays the little video, you'll see that Matthew Pelton is not here, but we do have a guest today. So it's not just me. Today in the studio, we have the one, the only, Wren Livesay here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me.
How does it feel to be my co-host for the day?
It feels awesome. It's like a promotion.
I know.
I never expected it. It's an honor.
I told you this literally right before the show, but Pelton texted me this morning, and he was like, hey, I'm not going to make it. And I was like, well, at least I have a guest, because we had a little fail-safe episode planned where if he didn't make it, I was just going to do a show on my own. And luckily you were here to cover me for that, so thank you, because I was not prepared whatsoever.
Oh, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. But today we're talking about a movie that you picked that I'm really excited for. It's the 1991 movie Hook, the Spielberg, Robin Williams classic.
Classic.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Okay, so jumping right in to childhood stories. I'm going to start with you because you're the guest today. My co-host for the day. So childhood stories. Why this movie? Because I know when you texted me, you had, was it just a few? You had a few movies. Is that
I had
right?
several options.
Okay.
Most of them being Disney.
Right.
Which
It's weird that I didn't pick them.
But the thing is, and you might agree, being a Disney lover,
Yeah.
it still falls into the Disney realm for me.
Yeah.
Because Peter Pan was
Disney movie.
a Disney movie.
Right.
And while I know it's based off of a novel,
Yeah.
for me, I was very much in a Disney household,
Yeah.
as I expect you were.
Oh my God.
And so
Yeah.
this was, when I was thinking of childhood memories, I remember my sister and I sort of treating this like Peter Pan lore,
Yeah.
or like what happens to him.
It's true. Yeah.
Because you do wonder. You're
Yeah.
like, what happens to Peter Pan after this? And I don't know
Right.
how well they actually explain how he got there.
Yeah. It is.
Or how he just forgot everything.
Yeah, he forgot, and then he had kids, and that's
Yeah.
it. And then he grows old. And then what happens to Wendy? Does she ever go back? I don't know. I forgot this whole plot, basically. I was like, I remember this movie with Hook, as the title, as like I guess, main character, but he's not really the main character,
Not really.
which is very strange. Like, they don't really focus on Hook's
No.
backstory at all, even though it's called Hook. I never understood that. Yeah, and it's a strange thing because I believe I must have watched this as a kid.
Mhm.
I don't remember it at all. But I did this thing my junior and senior year of high school before coming to film school, where I was like, I'm going to watch every movie by every major director ever. And that didn't happen. And to this day, I still have not successfully completed the list. But I was going through all the Spielberg movies because he was like the first. He's my guy. He's probably my favorite director of all time. He's amazing. But I was going through all of his movies, and Hook was one of them. And I was like, this is a brand new movie for me because I just forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
And I, since then, this is 4 or 5 years later, I had forgotten completely about what happens during the movie. And I was like, I forgot that it was like Peter Pan had forgotten his way.
Yeah.
And then he kind of comes back and whatever. But
It's crazy.
yeah, so that's wild. That's, so it kind of sticks out because I know you were telling me that you rewatch. Yeah. How many times have you seen this movie?
It was one of the ones that, and part of why I picked it is because, I don't know if you have this, but to this day, when I'm home, if we scroll past it, my mom's like, oh, let's watch Hook.
Yeah.
Let's put it on. And she really loves it.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, Mom, sorry, we're about to tear it apart.
Maybe not, though. Maybe not.
Maybe not. But yeah, she really loves it. And I mean, Robin Williams really delivers.
He's
honestly a great performance.
Fantastic.
Who else to play?
He's fantastic in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I was rewatching it and I was like, this is saved because of you, Robin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was thinking about this as I was watching this because I was like, man, there's so many players. Like, you have Spielberg directing, Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, like John Williams doing the score. Like, you have so many people, and we'll get into that in production notes. But like, and maybe I'll save this for later, but like, oh my God, one of the greatest directors of our time, one of the greatest actors, again, one of my favorite actors, one of my favorite, if not my favorite director, teaming up for a story that I love so dearly.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's just like the perfect match.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Perfect combination.
Yeah. Okay, so going into production, this movie, again, is directed by Steven Spielberg. Incredible. We have some heavy hitters today, which is crazy because the cast alone, yes, but in terms of production, the cinematography is done by this guy named Dean Cundey. Now, if that name doesn't sound familiar, that's okay. He is well known in the cinematography world because I'm just going to list off his credits.
Please
This
do.
dude is crazy. He did the cinematography for, just get ready for this, it's a long list.
Let me brace myself.
Among many, many, many others.
Okay.
But he did Halloween, The Thing, every single Back to the Future that exists, Jurassic Park, Apollo 13, The Parent Trap, Flubber, 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, and was nominated for an Oscar for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Isn't that insane?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just one after another.
Yeah, he did
stop,
everything in the 80s, 90s, like basically
Jurassic
every
Park.
classic movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Jurassic Park and Back to the Future alone, you're like, are you kidding me?
Crazy, yeah.
And then you get to The Thing, Halloween, like all the Carpenter movies, like it's ridiculous.
And it sounds like he is still working or working recently because
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's doing TV now.
Wow. Okay.
And then going right off of that, you have the editor, which his name's Michael Kahn. And it seems like he is Spielberg's guy because he's edited basically every single Spielberg movie of all time, like even the ones you've never heard of.
Yeah.
You know, he did obviously like Jurassic Park, E.T., like every single movie, all the way up until now. He did The Fabelmans and he edited West Side Story, like all the way up till today. He's just done all of Spielberg stuff.
Wow.
But he also edited The Goonies. He also edited Twister, and was nominated for Oscars in the editing category for, get this, it's a long list, for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, to Spielberg, Raiders of the Lost Ark, which he won.
Wow.
He won an Oscar. Fatal Attraction, Empire of the Sun, Schindler's List, which he also won. Saving Private Ryan, which he also won. Munich, and Lincoln. So mostly Spielberg's. But he won 3 Oscars for editing, which is crazy.
Not one for Hook, though.
No, not one for Hook, unfortunately. Neither of them got nominated or one for Hook. The music for this movie was done by John Williams. And I'll bring this up later in Final Thoughts, but I think this is one of, if not, in my opinion, the most underrated John Williams scores in existence. Because anytime I hear this music, I just get like I am calm. I like just serenity. Like I am just at peace. It is an incredible score.
Especially once they get to Neverland.
Oh my God,
he pulls out all the classic John Williams stops.
Oh my God,
like
it's
flourishing orchestra, incredible.
It's the best.
Underrated, yeah.
It's the best. And obviously, no need to go over his credits. He's done everything. If you don't know who John Williams is,
stop listening.
Stop listening. Go listen to. Go on Spotify, look up John Williams, and listen to everything he's ever done. Because he is an incredible dude. And also just got nominated for an Oscar for the new Indiana Jones, which, you know,
that was a life one.
That was a lifetime achievement nomination, definitely. Okay, so this movie had a $70 million budget, which it seems like not a ton because of the production of this thing, but apparently it started at like 35 million and then kind of ballooned and doubled, which there was a whole thing of like this film kind of shot. They went over the production, time and the, the budget kind of inflated and everything. Yeah. So it is what it is. But the movie grossed $300 million. So they made it up, which is great. It made its money back, which is awesome. Yeah. And I read this thing where Dustin Hoffman, Steven Spielberg, and Robin Williams, I guess, didn't take a salary for this movie. There's this whole thing in the industry where you take what's called points on the back end. So basically, like, you make money if the movie makes money, rather than taking an initial upfront salary. So typically with that, you want to put, more time and effort into, promoting it and everything, because you're not going to make money if the movie tanks. But I guess they made, between the 3 of them, they made like $25 million. Wow. Because it made so much money. And then I think it was like TriStar Pictures made a certain amount after they made their money. It's this whole thing, but they ended up making a lot of money off of this, which is crazy. Okay, so basically getting into like the story of how this movie was made. So the movie was essentially instantly greenlit because Spielberg is Spielberg.
Yep.
in the, who he was in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And he felt a personal connection with the relationship between Peter and Hook, feeling it was so close to his relationship with his father. Now, it's one of those things where he's done movies about his relationship with his parents in the past. You have E.T. is the famous one. More recently, you have The Fabelmans, which is literally a direct translation of his life. Yeah. But there's a few others where he kind of gets into like the family dynamic relationship thing. And this is a weird one, but it's one of them. So,
yeah, I'm trying to kind of parse out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the relationship that's most touched on is between grown-up Peter and his kids.
Right.
But wow.
Yeah.
I guess
maybe, who knows? And maybe it was Wikipedia, so maybe I got it wrong. And maybe that he actually felt like the relationship between, Peter and his kids was the thing, so who knows?
I mean, who knows? His dad could have been a villain. Like,
yeah.
maybe
Listen, I'm not sure. I mean, if you watch The Fabelmans, it seems like he was. So, so Spielberg began developing a version of this movie that was very closely related to the animated film by Disney. You get the classic characters, you get Wendy, you get Hook, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
With Walt Disney Pictures. So initially it was a Disney movie when he first did it. And he also considered doing the film with Disney as a musical with Michael Jackson.
What?
As Peter Pan.
Wait. Full stop. What?
Yeah.
Everything just changed.
Everything has changed. And I feel like I've heard this story before. Like that Spielberg was going to do it with Disney and they was going to do it as a musical. Michael Jackson was going to star. But Michael Jackson didn't want to do the Spielberg route of the musical because he didn't want to play the Robin Williams version of the character where he forgot about his past. He was like, no, I want to be a lost boy, which now, thinking back to how horrible Michael Jackson was, that's terrifying. So I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yes. Because his whole mantra of like not wanting to grow up.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't grow up.
Yeah, I need to be around these kids.
You're
like,
did.
no.
You did,
no.
Michael.
Yeah.
You grew up.
No. The Jackson 5 is no more, please.
No, it's over, Michael.
Later on, the film moved over to Paramount with Dustin Hoffman already attached to play Hook, which is awesome. Yeah, I think he crushes the role.
Yeah.
As much as he's an interesting character, not the greatest guy in the world. But just before filming began, Spielberg actually had his first son, Max, and decided to abandon the project altogether because it was shooting in London. And he was like, I don't want to shoot in London for, however many months or weeks and, not be the father to my child. So he was like, you know what? Screw this. Peace out, guys. I'm going back to America. I'm going to LA. I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go raise my kid. Yeah. And so he left it with Paramount with a guy named Nick Castle as the director.
Okay.
And now Nick Castle's an interesting guy because he didn't direct anything huge. He directed I think literally 2 movies before this, and none of them were massive smash hits. But he's known for being the actor in Halloween that plays Mike Myers, the guy with the mask. That's him. He's the one who came on to direct this movie, but he doesn't really have any directing background, so I'm not really sure why. If it was Paramount's decision or if it was Spielberg's decision to bring him on. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Well, I also feel like, though, with some of the stranger parts of this, all of these components are starting to make a little more sense.
Yeah. There are a few.
Because it was left in the hands of
some guy.
Mike Myers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
did he come back?
Yeah, naturally, the movie we have today is directed by Spielberg. Yeah. So basically what happened is Robin Williams was signed on in 1989, and both him and Dustin Hoffman had creative differences with Nick Castle, the director, this Mike Myers guy.
As you'd imagine.
Right. And so Spielberg's talent agent at the time, so it gets a little tricky. So Spielberg's talent agent was a guy named Mike Medavoy. That's how I'm going to go with the pronunciation. Who also happened to be the head of TriStar Pictures at the time. So stick with me.
Okay. It's
Spielberg's talent agent, also the head of TriStar Pictures.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
And at that very moment, TriStar Pictures just so happened to take over the film from Paramount. So it went from Disney to Paramount to TriStar, which basically let Spielberg's talent agent take over the project. And he basically was like, who is this Nick Castle guy? This is a Spielberg, project.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. We need Spielberg back. So through all this different, like, who has the rights, who's doing the movie, who's financing it, Spielberg ends up coming back, and Castle's dismissed. But they paid him $500,000 in severance. So he worked on the movie for who knows how long, but he left with $500,000.
Wow.
Kind of a sick move, yeah. To
Who's
not
complete
a project,
and then tell me to leave.
To not complete a project and get $500,000 out of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
Listen, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
So filming began officially in February of 1991 with a reworked script and Spielberg attached to direct. And kind of the last thing that I have in production is this film was shot in several sound stages, with one housing a full-scale Jolly Roger. So literally just in this one sound stage, you just had a full boat. That's where
and
part of the movie takes place. Yeah.
Like, their shots, they took full advantage.
Yeah.
They were like, we need to milk this thing for all it's got.
But it's crazy because, at least how I think of it, because maybe this is not how everyone else thinks of things, but like when you think about like movies and TV shows, right? It's like back in the day, you get like one soundstage per production.
Yeah.
You change everything, but everything happens in that one thing. You're like, oh my God, that's where, all of Charlie Chaplin's movies are taking place.
Yeah.
It's this thing, whatever. I don't think he ever shot a soundstage, but it is what it is. That's a bad example.
Yeah, no,
but yeah. All of Riverdale shooting in there. Oh my God. Again, probably not in a soundstage, but you know what I'm saying. So
imagine with us.
Exactly. So, but if you think about it, you have like several of these on the lot, and like 5 or 6 of them are just for Hook. Like and I get it because it's Spielberg, so it's like, yeah, this is the guy, he's taking over.
If anyone's
but
gonna
like,
do it.
Yeah, it's him, right? It makes sense. But it's crazy that it's just like in one of them is just the boat. And then in one of them you have like, the Lost Boys little campsite. It's like that whole thing is in one. And then just et cetera, et cetera. Like you get everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
So that's all I have for production notes. Going into the plot, you ready to unpack this crazy movie? Also, before we get into it, I want to say that on this show, we usually cover, we cover movies from our childhood, all this stuff, we rediscover them. But a lot of them are animated movies that are no longer than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
This movie
is not that.
2.5 hours. I was not expecting this last night. And I got all my work done and I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and watch the movie, prep for tomorrow. I sat down and I opened Hulu, start watching the movie, and I was like, 2 hours and 21 minutes? What?
Which is crazy because I mean, obviously, adults love this movie as well, but it feels very, we want kids to watch this.
Yeah.
Like it's Peter Pan. What kid, especially, when this was coming out in the 90s, had the attention span to like sit and watch?
I don't know if, again, I'm sure I watched this as a kid, but I don't know how I got through it.
It had to have been like, I fell asleep and the next day I was like, let's put it back on.
Right, let's watch it again.
Yeah. There's
or
no way.
If it was just like on, not Disney Channel because it's not a Disney thing, but whatever, on cable, on cable. Yeah. So I don't know, but God bless them. Like this is crazy. And I don't know about you, but at least for me, the first half of the movie feels like a 2.5 hour movie. Yes. The back half, once they get to Neverland, you're like, okay, this is great. It kind of picks up the pace a little bit, and I'll get to that in final thoughts. Yeah. But at least in the beginning, you're like, okay, you're taking a really long time explaining who this guy is, how he's like a bad, corporate man, whatever. Anyways, going into the plot, we open on a school play. I thought this opening was pretty cute. I thought it was fun. Yeah. We open with a school play, which is a rendition of the classic Peter Pan story, where Robin Williams' daughter, Robin Williams is Peter Pan in the movie, his daughter in the movie plays Wendy in the play. So it's like this big meta thing where it's like the real life Peter Pan is watching a stage version of the story of Peter Pan. But it makes me think like the logistics of like the world building. Like what are the rules?
This is my exact question.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right out of the gate, I'm going, so is it supposed to be like our world where Peter Pan is a book and maybe a movie,
sure,
several movies,
yeah,
and he just also happens to actually be Peter Pan?
Right.
Is he the Peter Pan they're all talking about? Are they talking about like folklore, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's a weird, especially with this play opening it. Like, I thought it was cute and everything, but it brings up so many questions that, like, if you don't include that first, minute and a half of the movie, all of those questions go away.
Yep.
Because it's like, it's based on this whole lore, and it's almost like the Marvel thing where they're doing it now with like Miss Marvel, where she's a fan of Captain Marvel in like the comic books, but also Captain Marvel is a real person that is a superhero. It gets weirdly meta, and it's very strange. It made me question so many things. But so Robin Williams, again, Peter Pan. I like to do this thing on the show where I just refer to the characters as the actors if they're that famous. So I'll go back and forth between Robin Williams and Peter Pan. I'm gonna try my best to just say Peter Pan. So Peter Pan, Robin Williams is what is his name in the movie? It's like Peter Pan.
Peter Banning.
Is it Banning?
Yeah, his last name is. He got adopted by a couple who just so happened to have the last name Banning.
Yeah, crazy.
Of course.
So he's a corporate lawyer in this world.
Yep.
That has a very workaholic attitude and ends up missing his son's big baseball game because of it. Also, again, because it's a 2.5-hour movie, just for time purpose. If it seems like I'm skimming through the movie, it's because there's just so much that happens. Yeah. So that's basically what happens. He goes to his daughter's play. He gets this phone call, and the guy's like, you have to be in the office. Big corporate lawyer, whatever. And then, his son's like, but it's my big game. Oh, my God. And then he's like, I'll be there, I promise. And then, he sends a guy from the office to go film it. And then he shows up, and oh, my God, the game's over. He missed it. He's a bad dad. All this stuff. Sick
They
name.
might as well have just put
bad
that
dad.
on the screen.
Yeah.
He's a bad dad.
Bad dad credits roll. Has nothing to do with Peter Pan at all. So later that night, on the plane to London, they're going to London for Christmas. Again, there's so much that happens. Because Peter's wife, who I forget her. Moira?
Moira, yep.
Sick name. Moira. She's from London. And on the plane ride, he gets really upset with his son, and he's like, hey, kid, grow up. Like, you got to grow up. You can't be a child in this world anymore. And his son's like, but I'm a kid.
But I am a child.
And he starts laughing. He's like, what are you talking about?
That's
He's like, oh, you're scared? The plane's going to bust over. We're all going to die. Ooh. And he's like, what?
You're going to get sucked out.
Yeah. Like, what's going on?
Yep. Because he is like throwing a baseball in a plane.
Well, this is also like pre 9/11 where they like no seat belts, like they're full dinners, like so much leg room, like they're all smoking on the plane. It's all crazy.
Anything goes.
Yeah, anything goes. This kid's like, I'm gonna bust open the window in the
throwing the baseball at the window.
It's crazy. But so we meet Grandma Wendy, which it's her. It's the lady. It's
there she is.
Yeah, Wendy Darling. I was trying to think of her last name.
Yes.
But it's also played by Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter, which is
Yes.
crazy. Yeah. I'll never remember her name. I just know her as McGonagall.
Real.
Also in the very beginning, less so towards the end, but in the very beginning, I could not see her as Wendy. I could only see her as like detention, like as McGonagall.
Even without the accent.
Yeah.
Well, and the crazy thing is, that's how she looks in the film is how Maggie Smith kind of looks now.
Right, yeah.
Because she's, I think, well into her 80s.
Yeah.
They aged her up for this.
Big time. Yeah. Because this is far before Harry Potter. Well, like it's like 10 years before Harry Potter.
Yeah, but it is
almost.
I've kind of always imagined her being that old, and I think it's because of this movie. Because she's like supposed to be in her 80s there, and then she's actually in her 80s now. So I'm like,
that's wild.
She's just always an 80-year-old woman.
She's been for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
She's been 80.
She's just been 80.
So yes, so we meet Grandma Wendy, who is supposedly the real Wendy from the stories. Like again, we're not really sure what the logistics are here.
Nope.
Because is it they watch the Disney film and it just so happens to be in real life? And then if that's the case, is Walt Disney some like lost boy in real life? Like who knows what is going on in this film with the actual lore and the context of everything?
Yes.
It's so confusing.
Well, because it feels like there are supposed to be callbacks to the book, like
the
literature, which I've never read the original.
Yeah.
But I think there's almost a suggestion that the Lost Boys are supposed to be like dead children. And that almost feels like it's something in this.
Yeah.
Or that there's like some metaphor that's going on the whole time.
Right.
But
Crazy
Who
stuff.
knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, moving on. So Peter gets a call from his boss while he's in London, which, did he have the cell plan to do that? Who knows? But I'm not gonna question that.
He's a lawyer. He's making money.
He's they have it at the corporate law office. They have that. But yes, and he screams at his kid. This part shattered my heart because he like fully screams at his kids because he's frustrated, with work and everything. And his wife, rightfully so, throws the phone out the window and tells him that he only has so much time with his kids. Yeah. And it's this heartbreaking moment. Like my heart shattered for these poor, and also just to see Robin Williams, this like fun, cheery guy in most of the movies he's in, like play this serious corporate lawyer who like gets really genuinely frustrated and just like, because he snaps. Like he like,
his acting eats, but it is.
Yeah, no, he goes crazy. But like,
it's so sad. And she's like, yeah, you're missing it.
Yeah.
She's like, the years are going by, you're missing it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a crazy moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I never want that to happen to me. I'm gonna start crying.
I know.
It's so sad. Okay, so Peter, his wife, and Grandma Wendy go to a charity dinner in honor of Wendy because she runs this orphanage now because she's the real Wendy. So Lost Boys, it all comes back.
World, yeah.
Yeah. And when they get home, they find the kids to be missing, and a ransom note written by Captain James Hook is like pinned to the wall with a knife, and you're like,
it's like medieval, pirate.
Yeah, it's
handwriting.
Like right, and it's like the knife is like all squiggly and everything.
Yeah, like he dragged his hook through the house.
It's crazy
image, crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. Like I was blown away by this moment because I was like, you get home and like I'm pretty sure it's the two people that are also previous Lost Boys were like watching the kids or something like that. The one that like lost his marbles.
There's the one guy, and then I think the woman is like the housekeeper.
Okay, yeah.
And she's just like pinned against the wall. And she's like, the wind came up or something, and the children were screaming, and you're like, oh my god,
it's insane.
Okay, Spielberg. Like,
yeah. What's happening?
Twist.
Yeah, jeez. I just get kidnapped.
Yep.
These poor kids.
Fully kidnapped. Yeah.
And then, like, you start thinking, at least I started thinking about this. I was like, especially later on in the movie when you see them, they're just, like, in, like, cages. Like, they're in, like rope. And you're like, are they being fed? Like, are they, like, literally going to die? Like, what's going on?
Because we know they're there for, like, 3 full days.
Yeah.
What's happening?
They are malnourished by the time they leave. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, Peter's gonna be paying like therapy bills.
After
what happened.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Also, like when he realizes, like when all the memories come flooding back, like when those memories cross paths, does he not like go actually insane? Like, do you know what I mean? Right? Like he's like, oh my god, I've been living my life for so long without these memories. Was like, he needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like for real.
He really needs to go to therapy. But instead they're like, it was the 90s.
Yeah. It's okay. So Wendy pulls Peter aside and tells him that he has to remember who he really is and that the stories are true. He is the Peter Pan. And Peter's like, no, like, I'm this corporate lawyer guy. Like, I don't, your family's crazy. Like, I can't.
Yeah, he thinks she's like unwell.
Yeah, like a lunatic.
He starts calling the wife. He's like, something's wrong.
What's going on?
She's doing it again.
And he begins drinking, which it does. I didn't realize that this was like a big like plot point at the end. There's like some random offhand comment of like he kind of is an alcoholic. Yeah. You're like, what?
I'm like, damn, he just had one drink.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, man, just thinking about like the logistics of this whole thing is just blowing me away. So, yes. So Peter begins to drink, and then he calls it a firefly from hell, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Comes through the window, and we are introduced to Tinkerbell, who is played by
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you also before we move on? Did you hear about the story of Julia Roberts on this set and Spielberg?
No.
I guess. And I don't know the entire story because I think it's still not fully out in the public. But I guess Julia Roberts and Steven Spielberg had like a lot of beef on set. But it's because she was coming off of like another really big movie. And I don't know if it was because she was like cocky or something. Like, but whatever it was, they both like got into like this big fight. And then like years later, they both were like, yeah, I don't know why that happened. And we both just got really frustrated with each other. And then since then, like the reason why it's not out in the public is because since before and since both of those, the actor and director, both of them like famously like don't really get into tussles on set. Like they're really good to work with.
Yeah.
But I guess like, I don't know if she was just like, I don't want to be this tiny little fairy. And he's like, but that's who you're cast as. And she's like, I want to be something more, which we'll get to that because there's a part of this where she becomes something more, which is insane. But yeah, it's wild. So that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's something that happened. But yeah, she comes to the window. We're introduced to Tinkerbell, who tries to bring back Peter's memories. But when he doesn't budge, she kidnaps him. Yep. Like she just fully like wraps him up and then sprinkles pixie dust and then just drags him. Also, she's strong as hell. Like, like that's crazy.
I know the little image of him, like his whole body in a sheet.
Yeah, and there's like a tiny little light going towards the second star to the right. So yes, they land on the Jolly Roger, right? It's on the ship. And Peter dresses up as a pirate as he tries to blend in with the pirates of Neverland. Now, this is until we finally meet the beloved Captain Hook, which I think literally takes like 45 minutes to actually happen, which is wild because this movie is called Hook. And again, he is not the main character.
No.
There's no like backstory. There's no like, it's just the trope from the other movies and lore and everything. There's no like, oh, we're going to go further into his backstory.
No.
I don't know.
It's just the same old. And even the Lost Boys are like more developed and have their own sort of Spielberg twist.
Yeah.
But Hook's just Hook.
Yeah.
And he looks exactly like he does in the Disney movie, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there another like live action Peter Pan movie where like they do kind of get a little bit into his backstory? Or maybe not, but I do remember there's like another live action one.
One of them out there has to.
Yeah, like his like backstory and everything. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a TV show. Who knows? I know like, don't they do, what's that? It's like Once Upon a Time for like ABC.
Yes.
And they have like backstories. Is that where it was? Okay. Maybe I stopped watching once the Frozen stuff started happening just because I moved on to other things. And nothing, I loved the show. I was a big fan.
I think a lot of people stopped watching Frozen stuff happen. I also used to watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was a big fan. Maybe that's why I started working for Disney. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be these guys. I'm gonna go to a town and then discover that all of my friends are actually Disney characters.
Actually, yeah.
I'm waiting for that day when I'm at Emerson and I'm like, I think Pelton is actually Peter Pan in real life.
Wait, that tracks. That's why he couldn't come today.
He was like, he's off fighting Captain Hook. It's too close. It's too close to home. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we meet Hook, and he, exposes Mr. Peter Pan to everyone on the ship.
Sir Peter
as
Pan. The
great Peter Pan who can't fly and is afraid of heights because he's still brainwashed. All of his memories are gone. And after a bit of negotiation, Tinkerbell convinces Hook to allow her to train Peter for 3 days to give Hook the big fight with Peter Pan that he desires. Mm-hmm. Like, this is his thing because, Hook challenges Peter Pan. He's like, go up, climb up the ship, touch your kid's hands, and they will be free. But because he can't fly, he's too far away, so he can't get it. And then he's like, you're not the real Peter Pan. And Tinkerbell's like, no. He is. He just doesn't remember. Let me train him. And then, they have this whole negotiation thing where she's like, I need, a week? And he's like, 2 days. And then she's like, 4.
Back and forth.
Yeah, and they finally settle on 3, which is so interesting. Because, again, those kids are starving. Get them help.
Also,
Please.
He was so close. It was kind of like a Jack fitting on the door situation in Titanic. Like, he could have.
Yeah.
He could have.
Easily. And then he, slips, and then he grabs it. But if he tried again, he scooted up a little further.
Or even, jumped.
That. And because then he could just grab onto the net.
Yes.
Or, his kids could have started swinging. You know what I mean? And they could have grabbed. What's going on? I know there's no movie without it, but,
Come on.
Come on. Yeah. I feel like this happens a lot on our show where like it's such an easy fix in the first 20 minutes. Well, in this case, 45 minutes, but you know.
Exactly.
So yes. And then as they're all like cheering, you know, for this giant, you know, fight, this war, Peter falls off the plank and eventually ends up at the hideout of the Lost Boys, who try and immediately kill him. That he gets there and he's like, I don't know, I'm the Peter Pan, I guess. I'm that guy. And then they're like, no,
not true.
No, you are not. And then they try and obliterate him. And this goes on for like a pretty long time. Like he just runs away. They're like fully messing with him. And then the leader of the pack, he pulls out like a sword and he tries to kill him. He's like, what the heck
They were
is
taking
happening?
full advantage of the set because they wanted to get every nook and cranny. They have him like running up and down, random places.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So Tinkerbell convinces the Lost Boys that he is Peter Pan, and Rufio, who is now the leader of the Lost Boys, is reluctant to give up his leadership. He's like, no, you left. I'm the guy now.
Yeah.
This is my team. So Hook tries. Okay, this part was crazy because Captain Hook was like, he's not the Peter Pan that I know, and he takes out a gun and he like tries to end his life. Like, I don't know if we should even be talking about this on air. Probably not. But like, it's insane that this happens.
No, it's crazy. And then we learn that he like does this often, and
he
has to like talk him out of it every time.
Yeah, and you're like, what? What's happening?
Crazy.
It's like such a random, and it's never brought up again. And you're like, what's going on? But yeah, because he couldn't get the revenge that he wanted. This was his big thing. He's like, I couldn't get the revenge I want. My life is worthless. Yeah. And Smee convinces Hook to turn Pan's kids against him to properly get his revenge. This is the one way now that he's all grown up and everything. Like, this is the thing that he'll care about.
Yes.
So the boys train Peter, and Hook fails to convince Peter's daughter to turn on him, but successfully convinces his son because he reminds him how Peter didn't show up to his baseball game.
The game.
And the game shows up later, which we'll get to, which is a big plot point that I never remembered about this movie, which is a wild scene.
It is wild.
It also shattered my heart. But so then there's this dinner scene, and the only reason I bring this up, because it's not... Actually, it is kind of... Actually, it's very important now that I think of it. But there's this dinner scene, and when I watched it in 2019, this is like the one line that I remembered like laughing out loud during. I thought it was hysterical. So all of the Lost Boys and Peter Pan, you know, they're eating food, but it's not real food. It's all imagination. Yep. Yeah, you know, this is the Lost Boys.
And Peter's like, what?
Yeah,
he's so hungry. He's like
starving.
Yeah,
and they just start like the most exaggerated like thing ever. And the kids are so funny when they're eating all this stuff. And there's this quote in the scene that Robin Williams says, which I was just dying at. He says, Gandhi ate more than this, and I just lost. Both times I watched it in recent memory, I was like crying laughing. So I was just like, it's so out of nowhere, and it's the most Robin Williams thing ever. And again, I'll bring this up later to further emphasize it. But I think once Robin Williams gets to really be Peter Pan, like it makes sense why he's in the role. Like, this is the beginning of it, where he starts to really fully realize who he is, and then he starts becoming like that, you know...
Witty.
Yeah, witty, he throws out the, you know, zingers and all this stuff. That's who Peter Pan is, and that's who Robin Williams is, and it makes sense. But it's far too deep into the movie for me to not even mention that.
Well, and him and the leader, Rufio, get into like a roast off.
Yeah. And it's so funny.
And you're like, this has to be improv from this side.
Oh, it's amazing.
There's so many little moments where you're like, there's no way anyone wrote that.
Oh, it's so good. So after getting to a fight with Rufio at dinner, that happens. Peter finally builds up the courage to use his imagination and unlock his abilities as the great Peter Pan. So he goes and, you know, they're fighting, and then he's like, you know, suck on this, and he like has like a little spoon, and he like flicks food at, I think it's Rufio, right?
It is Rufio.
Yeah. And then the food actually exists, and it like splatters on him, and he's like, oh, and he like looks, and there's like all this food on the table. He's like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm Peter Pan. Yes. So then we get to the baseball scene. So Captain James Hook.
James.
Played by Dustin. Name is James. hosts a baseball game to show his loyalty to Jack. Jack, by the way, is Peter Pan's
His
son.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever mentioned that. I just wanted to make it abundantly clear that it's his kid. And Peter and the Lost Boys show up to steal Hook's hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the right.
It's like a game, I think. I think
Yeah.
they do it often. Because
Right.
it has many hooks.
Yeah. Yeah, I always think about do you remember in the original Peter Pan when he had like the golden hook that like
Yes.
sparkled? Oh,
Yeah.
that was so
and they like
cool.
pull it out of the vault or whatever, like the back.
Oh, that was so neat.
Yeah.
I think about that far too often.
Uh-huh.
So Peter sees his son hit a home run, which, okay, can we talk about this for a second? Because his son is not good at baseball whatsoever. Was it like a controlled ball? Was it in his imagination? Like, what's going on here that maybe it's all just the logistics of Neverland.
Yeah.
That like everyone can collectively use their imagination to launch this thing out of, this kid smacks this ball like out of Neverland. Like it sails. It's insane. Like it makes no sense.
Well, and it goes so far that like in a later scene,
Yeah.
Peter's like back in the Lost Boys camp and it hits him in the head.
There.
like
Like how is that possible?
he did nothing in the real world.
Yeah.
And all his teammates
struck
are like,
out. This kid
"Man."
sucks. Yeah. I hate
They're
this
Neverland.
guy. Yeah, it's
He kills
wild.
it. Yeah.
But yes, so Peter is beyond proud of his son because he just saw him hit a home run. But he can't share in the glory because he's hiding from Hook. And he's a little sad. He runs away, runs back to the Lost Boys camp, gets hit with the ball. And then he has this moment where he like looks in a pond and he sees the reflection of his old self. Yeah, his young self. Wow, that was an interesting way of phrasing that. Because old self anyways. His past self. There you go. Yeah. They're all correct.
Yeah.
And then we get this moment where, he discovers this little secret hideout for him, Wendy, is it James? Whoever the other kids are.
Michael.
It's like Michael.
John.
John, not James.
Like
yeah,
the
John.
siblings.
James is James Hook.
Yeah.
John. That was the guy I was
All
looking
the
for.
British names.
All the British guys. And then Tinkerbell kind of basically is like, you are Peter Pan. And he's like, oh! And it finally clicks.
Because he's like, this is where she sat.
Yeah, and it all comes back.
Yeah,
it all comes back. And then we get probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yep.
I think this is the best part of the score, the best part visually, like the most just surreal. Like this just made me feel so much joy. It's like the classic Spielberg moment.
Yeah.
It's just pure awe.
Yeah.
You see the scale of
Warm
everything.
and fuzzy.
Yeah, warm and fuzzy, the whole thing. The adventure, the wonder, everything. He starts flying.
Mm-hmm.
He busts out of the thing, the tree, whatever, and he shoots up into the air, somehow fully in the Peter Pan outfit now. Yeah, he has like the robes and the little knife and everything, the little sword.
Leaf.
Yeah, exactly. Like okay, sure. He just ditched his like lawyer corporate outfit, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's insane. But it was so magical. Like you get the like the score's amazing. Yeah. And so he's flying and you get all the classic Spielberg reaction shots of all the kids going, "It's Peter Pan, he's back, let's go." Like, yeah. And it's the best. And so that moment happens. I just want to take a moment to really talk about that because it's the best. It's so good. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't want to watch the whole 2.5 hour movie, go on YouTube and just look up Hook, Peter Pan, flying scene, whatever.
Well, and he gets the ability to fly because he remembers.
Yeah.
He has this happy thought.
Right.
He's a dad.
Yeah.
And there's this moment of like what the mom was trying to communicate.
Yeah.
In that like first scene.
Yeah.
He finally, it clicks. And he's like, I'm a dad. I have to be there for my kids.
Right.
And he's so happy about it.
Right. But also, again, logistical question here. If this is his happy thought now, is it the same happy thought always? Because he didn't always have kids. So he was flying with a different happy thought back in the day. So maybe it changes over time, but for whatever reason, I guess in the original movie, they're like, oh, just think of any happy little thought. Like that's just what it is. So I guess it could just be anything. But I'm also so used to that trope in movies where it's like, you have to think of that one memory. And it's like, that is your one. And that's it. You always have to think about that.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I guess it changed.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so Rufio finally, after the whole movie, gets down on his knees and he's like, you are Peter Pan. Here's the sword. All this all this stuff because he's like, you're the Pan I once knew. Yeah, you're back. And then we have this moment with Tinkerbell where I don't know how, and maybe it's explained and I just missed it because I was just so shocked, but she grows to be human size and then kisses Peter Pan.
All they have is one line where she's like, I finally got my one wish.
Yeah.
But there's
to make out with you. It's like, what?
Who granted you the wish?
Yeah.
Like,
what's going on?
She also changes into this like prom dress.
Yeah.
Because she's in like, you know, they made her all like tomboyish and have like a pixie cut because she's a pixie.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, rather than like the Tinkerbell dress, she's in like khaki, like oversized. And then suddenly, and she has like sparkles in her hair.
Yeah.
90s updo.
It's
whatever.
insane. It's insane. And then
they make out.
And then she just goes back to Tinkerbell size.
Oh my god, the crazy part actually is they're making out. He's like lost in memories and he tries to say Moira, his wife's name, and Tinkerbell thinks he's saying more.
Yeah.
And she's like,
it's ballistic.
And he's like, no, Moira, girl.
Yeah,
like,
back
you're
off.
Not the one.
Yeah. What's going on? Makes no sense. So, yeah, that insane scene happens. And then finally we get to like the moment that I've been waiting for like literally 2 hours at this point, which is insane. Peter Pan boards the Jolly Roger to take on Hook and get his kids back. The whole crux of the movie. Mm-hmm. And just when we think, just when we think he's going to lose to the pirates, the Lost Boys board the ship and take them down. They have all these little gadgets. They have all these little things. That's like my favorite part is they just have all these little creative ways. So, like, this is ragtag group of kids that are just living off the land. And they're like finding these different ways. Oh, it's so cool.
It is cool.
It's so cool.
They like spill pebbles or whatever, like stuff on the floor. And it
marbles.
Makes them trip.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. So Peter and Hook fight. After this big moment happens where Hook kills Rufio. He just murders him. And I was not expecting that because I don't remember that from 2019 when I watched it or when I was a kid. But he just kills him.
Yeah.
I was like,
watching it, I was like, oh, does he come back? Nope.
Yeah.
He dies.
No, he just dies. Yeah. And you see it and everyone's just like, what? And I
then
guess
they like move past it.
Yeah. And I guess like, you know, it's good because you get something that's like, it's not like a, you know, the big issue with like the Marvel movies today or whatever is like no one dies, everyone's brought back, all this stuff that people complain about, whatever. But it caught me off guard because I was like, I've seen plenty of Spielberg movies. Not that people don't die in them, but that's just not what I think of when I think Spielberg. I'm just like, oh, happy, fun, you know, magical, all this thing. But
I think they felt like they had to add some kind of stakes because the pirates are just sort of like goofing around.
Yeah.
And we forget, like, oh, they have swords.
Yeah, no, they can kill.
Like, they mention it several
the
times.
Whole movie. Yeah.
Hook's like, I'm tired of, like, killing Lost Boys all the time. And we're like, wait, he's done this before.
Yeah.
What's up? And I guess there's the proof. Like, he does it.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, wow. It comes out of nowhere.
And that's like the pirates' whole thing is like, we love killing Lost Boys. Like, just killing children. It's like, it's insane. It is actually, like, insane. But they sweep it under the rug with like the Spielberg charm of just like they do like one line just like for plot purposes and they're like, we're not going to talk about this ever again.
Yeah.
So yes, Peter defeats Hook several times. Like he you know disarms him multiple times, gives him a second chance on life, but each time Hook betrays his trust and is eventually defeated when a giant crocodile statue falls on top of him, and it like eats him, right? Like the mouth like. I'm not really sure how this
is something I wanted to talk about. So
okay.
Bad.
Okay, great.
Because the whole film, they're like, he killed TikTok Croc.
Yes.
The crocodile.
Classic.
From Peter Pan.
Yeah, my favorite character.
He hates clocks because of him. He's dead. And he's in the town square or like on the middle of the ship with the clock sort of in his mouth.
Yeah.
And what I'm so tripped up about is, he like falls onto him, but then the crocodile like burps as if he ate him.
Right. Like it's a real.
And we're just sort of like,
what? Yeah.
And I think it's just supposed to be this like suspension of reality, like it's Neverland.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right.
But yeah, there's like smoke.
Yeah.
And then he's gone.
Yeah. crazy. And who knows where he goes because they'd never made a Hook 2.
I think they were getting to the end and Spielberg was like, that's fine if he just falls on him and eats him.
We have 3 more days to shoot. Let's do this. So Jack forgives his father and Tinkerbell guides the 3 back home. They finally make it back home and he appoints one of the Lost Boys to be his successor. And, the 3 return happy as can be and, everyone's all good and all is well in the world. And that is Hook, which is a great, fun time. So final thoughts. Do you want to start? Because this was your movie, your pick. So final thoughts. Did it hold up? What were you thinking about during this movie?
I think the movie, for me, it really has a hard time with what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Because even I was like talking to my family about this before doing this because we watched it together so many times.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know if it wants to be like a kid's movie or if it's trying to be deep and metaphorical.
Right.
And I think it kind of tries to do both.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
I watch it and I'm entertained.
Yeah.
I think Robin Williams cannot be better.
Yeah,
I think he gives an incredible performance.
Yeah.
I think, it drags. Like, there are times where it's like, do we need the Tinkerbell Peter makeout scene right now?
Absolutely not. Like,
no. A lot of that I struggle with.
The Hook existential crisis scene, like, there's a couple in there where you're like, how is this possible? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting time. So for me, I wanted so badly to like really, really love this movie. Yeah. It's similar to I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a Twilight Zone movie that's split into 4 parts and Spielberg directed one of the parts. And it's like famously one of the really, really bad Spielberg things. Like that just like they had like a bunch of really good directors. Yeah. It all kind of fell apart. It's not great. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where I'm like, it has all the parts that you could possibly ask for. A great score, a great actor, one of the best directors of all time. Or again, one of the best actors of all time. Yeah. 2 really good actors. Yeah. And it's such a good premise. Like I've talked about this in the past, like Willy Wonka, that whole premise. Like it excites me to think about, but then when you actually see it on the screen, you're like, like there's something missed. There's something, and I can't put words to it, but there's something missing. And that was kind of how I felt here. I think the one major thing for me is I mentioned it a little bit throughout the episode, but I wish that they spent more time with Peter as Peter, like as Peter Pan. Because once you get to him in that outfit with the little, the little leaf outfit with like the sword, he's doing his thing, and the classic like witty banter of Robin Williams, that makes it. Yeah. But the first literally like hour and I have it written down. Literally, there is 35 minutes of this 2.5-hour movie with Peter Pan as Peter Pan, and the rest of it, you're like, he's kind of lame. I didn't like him as the corporate lawyer. That's just not Robin Williams. And I understand why they had to do it for story purposes to get to that point where he thrives in that role, but something about it fell short for me. Obviously, the score, as I've mentioned, I think it's one of the most underrated scores of John Williams, underrated scores of all time. I think it's fantastic. And it's a classic Spielberg adventure. There's so many like different things that you're like, this is great. It's Spielberg. But, there's certain elements where I was just like, whatever. Yeah. And one final thought on Hook. I can't believe this got greenlit. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Thank you so much, Wren, for being here. This has been such an incredible episode. Obviously, we're missing our co-host, but you came in, you got it done. We talked Hook. This was such a fun time. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm no Matthew, but
no, you know what? No, you did a great job. This is such a good time. I couldn't have asked for a better no Matthew episode. This was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Looking forward to having you and Angelo back, hopefully in the future together.
Yes.
That'd be so much fun. We'll talk more about that after this episode. Yes, tune in next week for another episode of I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit. Unfortunately, because Matthew is not here, we haven't really talked about what we're doing next week. So stay tuned. We will do something, and we will see you then. Bye.